Hi guys, it's Linda. Today we're going to discuss the Suzanne Morphew case. We haven't talked about Suzanne Morphew for a little bit, so I just wanted to review the case again and give you some updates. We did get that request from Millie Molly, Mrs. T, so thanks Millie, and stay tuned. So for anyone that isn't familiar with the case, I just wanted to give you what happened. Suzanne went missing on Mother's Day, May 10th of 2020, and has not been seen since. Her husband, Barry, drove to Broomfield, Colorado on the morning of the 10th to fix a retaining wall that was waiting repair for many months. Barry had gotten a call from their daughter saying that they couldn't get in touch with their mom to say, Happy Mother's Day. They were on a trip, and he had a neighbor go over to check on Suzanne. She was not in the home. He did ask the neighbor to look to see if her bike was there, to see if she had gone on a ride that morning. The bike was not there. Initial story, I guess, was that she had fallen down the ravine on her bike and maybe been attacked by an animal. There was no sign that that ever happened, and the way that they found the bike, there wasn't much damage to the foliage or any of the bushes or anything down the ravine, showing that the bike might have tumbled down that with her on it. Also, the bike wasn't really damaged, which you would expect, and there wasn't any blood or any type of fabric left over if an animal did attack Suzanne. Barry then said that he thought that maybe she was abducted, so that was another theory that he had put out there. He did stop in town maybe that same week or the next week, and he did want to put inside a store just items that he thought Suzanne might have been wearing. There was no description of Suzanne, her hair color, her eye color, her height or weight, anything other than the bike helmet, and the bike, she had on a specific outfit to go riding in. So there was speculation that Barry had gone out of town just to get an alibi set up. Barry said that he did say goodbye to his wife while she was sleeping that morning, that Sunday morning, Mother's Day. He did say he went to the job site and started getting stuff ready for his employees who were coming on Monday. When the employees got there, they said there really wasn't a lot of work done, and that Barry didn't leave them the equipment that was needed to fix the retaining wall. There was something that I was pretty curious about. There was speculation that on Suzanne's Facebook page, apparently she tried to friend a number of men on Facebook. As far as the Facebook friending spree at midnight, could have been only speculating that someone actually was on her Facebook friending these people just to set up maybe a scenario that she was abducted because someone took advantage of her through Facebook and came out and, like they said, abducted her. But that's, again, just speculation. We don't know who would have done that on her Facebook account, but it's just pretty curious, especially since she is married. She's been married for over 20 years. They have 2 daughters, and why all of a sudden the night before she's no longer seen, she does this with all of these friend requests. Barry and Suzanne were seen the Saturday before around 4 p.m. getting sandwiches out in town. I think the main things to take away from this, and what I find as maybe clues, would be the job site that Barry went to. In watching Lauren Scharf, who is an investigative reporter in the state of Colorado in that area, she was saying that with this job site, the equipment obviously was not there. That's what his employees have said. And for him to go out to work on a Sunday is also not something that could have happened, or not something that is allowed to happen, because you have to get a special permit to do any work at a job site on the weekend. And especially with a Mother's Day weekend, it would be highly unlikely that Barry would have gotten a permit to do work on that Sunday. Also, there was no permit to be found for that work being done that weekend. Yes, we know that jobs was supposed to be done. There was a job site there, and they were supposed to fix a wall that they had put down previously that just wasn't done right, so they needed to fix that. Lauren did dive into that. Apparently, this company based out of Indiana, which is where Barry and Suzanne had lived for many years before they moved to Colorado only a few years ago. Apparently, this company was actually the company that had this job. Lauren did find out that there was connections between Barry and this company in Indiana. Lauren did speak with someone from that company, but he or she did not want to disclose who they were. But the information they gave her was pretty interesting. So this company, Garrett Construction LLC, based in Indiana, had hired another Indiana-based company, EA Outdoor Services LLC. EA Outdoor Services LLC is the company that hired Barry Morphew to put up these retaining walls. So Barry was hired to put up 2 retaining walls next to the Northwest Parkway in Broomfield. EA Services President Tony Miller is actually a lifelong friend of Barry, and that's who had hired him to do the work. And this employee who had talked to Lauren said that he had not ever heard of Barry Morphew until he heard that Suzanne had gone missing. And that's when he found out that Barry was hired to do this work for them. Lauren also said that none of the documents that she researched had ever listed Barry Morphew as someone that was working or doing the job to put up these retaining walls. Lauren also looked in to see if there were any surveillance cameras facing the wall, to see if there was any kind of video footage from the day before, Mother's Day, and the day after, but there was nothing there that she could find. And sometimes when there is contracting going on, depending on the city or the town or the municipality, there might be some videos or cameras that are put up. They would have put up a construction monitoring system on a pole to monitor the work being done. The monitoring system was removed before Mother's Day. The job, they did know they had to fix this wall, but it wasn't something that needed to be done immediately. There was talk of fixing it, but there wasn't any time frame established that this job had to be completed by, or the fixing of the wall had to be done by. So for him to rush out on Mother's Day to fix the wall might be something that people are, looking into. Doesn't seem like it was something that needed to be done that day, especially on a weekend when you need to get a special permit just to do work. Something else that was interesting was Lauren said that Barry initially, for the job, did not do any of the work. He delegated it out to, I guess, other subcontractors. So for him, again, to have to go out there that morning or that day, that weekend, just to fix this wall when he didn't actually do the work to begin with. You would think, as someone that hires out subcontractors, you're going to make sure that they take care of any of the problems that they made when they did put up the wall or when they did do the work. But apparently he felt it was his responsibility to go out and fix this with his own crew. The employee that Lauren had spoken with said that they did know that work was going to be done May 11th, the day after Mother's Day. So they did know that someone was going out there to fix the wall. And this employee also said that there was no sense of urgency to get this work done. It did not have to be done that weekend. They were going out on Monday, which was expected. They would not have allowed Barry to go out to fix this wall on Mother's Day. It is a violation of the Bloomfield policies, or Broomfield, I apologize, for Broomfield's policies for working on the weekends. Like I said, they need a special permit, and they would have told Barry that he could not do work that Sunday. This employee also said that he thought that the wall actually looked worse than it did before they started doing the work. So for them to come to fix the issues that the original wall had, it actually, when they were done on Monday, looked even worse than before they took it apart. Again, they didn't have the materials they needed or the equipment. There was especially a bobcat that they were talking about that they should have had available, and apparently Barry always has this equipment with him. So it was very curious that that was not there. All they had were shovels and other things to take the blocks off to put them back on because the blocks were glued. So just really strange that this job did not have to be done that day, or fixing of the job did not have to be done that day. A lot of the equipment and the materials were not there. Barry said he did some work which did not look like he did anything as far as his employees were concerned. And after they did work on the wall, it actually looked worse than what was there before they got there. And they were there to fix it, make it longer, and make it higher, which none of that happened. Barry also told his employees that the materials to make the wall higher and straighter would have been there on Monday afternoon. None of that showed up, and that's why his employees actually did leave. I believe it was either Monday evening or Tuesday morning, because they just didn't have what they needed to do the job. And Barry's friend, this Tony Miller, who is president of the company that hired him, said that he thought that the reason why the equipment wasn't there and that the materials weren't there was because Barry was so concerned about his wife being abducted, although he would have known all of this stuff needed to be there for Monday, since they knew well in advance that that's when the work was going to be done. Lauren was also told that Tony Miller did order the material back in October of 2019. So again, they knew this work had to be done, materials had to be ordered. Apparently materials were ordered, but they never showed up to the job site. Lauren also talked to the company that would have provided the material to make the wall higher and longer, and they said they had not received any orders for this wall for the work to be done May 10th, 11th, or 12th. So they never received an order to deliver any of the materials needed. The head company, Garrett Construction, would have ordered a geo inspector to be out there for the project, just to check on the workers, to make sure the work is being done correctly, and to do a couple of different things to make sure the ground is compact correctly. And this inspector also has to make sure a grid is put in this geotech inspector also collects soil data. This geo-inspector also can't sign off on the project until the soil has been checked a number of times. Obviously, there was no geotech inspector at the job site for this update. On the EA Outdoor Services website, they also say that they do have an inspector out there every day inspecting the work that is done at the job site. We need to question who was out there with Barry while he was working on this job site, making sure that he was doing what needed to be done, since EA Outdoor Services states that they do have someone out there on the job sites. So who was out there that Sunday with Barry while he was working? Lauren did reach out to the president, Tony Miller, and he said that he had no comment. He, again, is also Barry's friend, but he had no comment for Lauren, and he knew why Lauren was giving them a call. Lauren also found out that Broomfield's authorities have no documentation regarding helping Chaffee County, which is where Suzanne and Barry lived, with the investigation. They had not reached out to Broomfield about any of the work that Barry was doing on that weekend. They also were never asked to search the hotel room of the Holiday Inn Express that Barry stayed in, and when his employees came to Broomfield to start working, they did say that they smelled a lot of chlorine or bleach smell when they went into Barry's room. So the backfill was removed behind both walls, but they did not dig up the original footing to the walls. The footing goes underneath the first course of the block of the wall. And the reason why that's important is this block was never taken up or searched, and no dogs have been out there to see if there is anything underneath those footings. So Lauren also questioned, did Barry get paid for the job that his company had done? He did pay his employees, she had found out, but he never invoiced to get paid from EA Outdoor Services for the work that was done. There's a lot of speculation about this case. Barry doesn't really speak out about it, and their daughters have not spoken out about it either. I know Barry is probably getting a lot of heat for not speaking out. Anyone would. People are just not understanding why you wouldn't go out there and try to do anything you can to find your wife. He says that he's damned if he does, and if he's damned if he doesn't, although it's just something, unless you walk in his shoes, I guess we couldn't say what we would do. I would just hope that, especially myself, I would do as much as possible, regardless of the speculation that's out there, regardless of what people might say. The most important thing is to find your loved one and not care what all the chatter is about. Doing what you need to do and helping find your loved one is the most important thing regardless. And as we have seen in the past, there have been plenty of parents or spouses or significant others that have been under the microscope, but they continued to do the work that needs to be done to find their loved one, because that's the most important thing regardless of what they have to endure in the process. And I know I said this in previous videos that we had put out there. There was a foundation in Suzanne's name because of her dealing with cancer. This is just my opinion. I am just speculating. I have no reason to believe this. I don't personally think that Barry would have done anything to Suzanne because of another woman, or she wasn't a good wife or anything like that. I just for some reason think that if they look into this foundation, there might be something there. I'm speculating. Maybe Suzanne found out that things weren't being done right as far as financial things going in and out of that foundation. Maybe she found out about it and confronted Barry about it. And I do think that maybe more emphasis should be put on, and maybe they are. Maybe the CBI is checking into this foundation, but when it comes down to money, that makes people do some bad things. I just feel in my gut that there's something going on with that, and that might be where some of the answers might be. So again, that's just what I feel. That's what I think they should focus on. I don't have all the information that they have. It is just very strange that this woman just disappeared without a trace, and it's almost been a year and we still don't have many answers. We are working with other cases that we talk about that, yes, the same thing happened. We do find out eventually. Sometimes nothing's ever found out. I just think that there are plenty of avenues that inspectors can look at to figure out what could have happened. And once something is found out, we all want to know why. And that's where I'm going with this foundation. And maybe things weren't done right with the foundation. And that could be a reason that something happened. Again, it's all speculation. This is just how I feel. And until Suzanne is found, it's really not something that anyone will know the answer to. But if we find out anything else, we will definitely bring it to you. My heart goes out to her daughters, her husband, if he had nothing to do with it, her family, who has been searching endlessly to find her. And my heart just goes out to all of them, and I just hope they get answers sooner than later. And so I just wanted to bring you an update on Suzanne Morphew. So let me know if there's anything else you want me to look into until the partners get together. And if you can, thumbs up, subscribe, leave me some comments, thumbs up, I think I said that already, and just, send this out to everyone anyone that would be interested. We'd really love more people to come to our channel and see what we're presenting, and let us know what we're doing right and what you think we can do better. Until next time, I hope everyone's well. I hope everyone stays safe and healthy, and take care. Bye-bye.